As the owner of Bloob,
Yeah.
would you ever make yourself pro? Bigspin Podcast. I am your host, Chris, and I'm here with my friend Jamie. He runs Bloob Decks out of Ontario, Canada, and I'm stoked to have you on the Bigspin. How are you? What's going on?
I'm good, man. I'm happy to be here. This is a new experience for me, but it's going to be a good time.
It's going to be a good time.
Yeah.
Where are we right now, just to give the listeners some context?
We are in the Six Skates shop right now.
The beautiful Six Skate shop.
Yeah.
Did you know this was the only fingerboard store in Canada?
Is it like the only physical location?
Physical location
Wow.
per Vito.
We're lucky.
I'm impressed.
Yeah, we're
I'm
lucky.
impressed.
Vito,
Well-
Vito knows what he's doing.
Oh yeah, Vito's
Oh, yeah.
a man. He's a fingerboard father. I called him yesterday the fingerboard adoptive father.
Oh, yeah.
Is what I called him. Yeah, Vito's the best. What are we here for? What are you here for this beautiful Saturday?
So
what are we doing later?
We're doing the Six Skates and Pyro Boards by the Beach event.
Boards by the beach.
Yeah, it's actually my first time going.
That was my next question. First
Yeah,
time?
Yeah. I
Really?
was supposed to go the last 2 years, but I just couldn't make it out. Last year, my wife was very pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
So
Congrats, by the way.
Well, thank you. But yeah, so I couldn't really, skip out on a whole day just in case, because you never know.
Never know.
And yeah, so here we are. We're finally making it happen.
No, I think they've done 4, right?
Yes, the fourth one.
Love that.
Mm-hmm.
Love that. Well, shout out the guys behind Boards on the Beach.
Yeah.
All right, Jamie. So just like every good story, we have to start at the beginning. If that's cool with you, I want to talk to you a little bit about just kind of like your early days, and then obviously we'll get into Bloob and we'll get into the wheels and the decks and everything else you got going on.
Cool.
But where are you from? Where are you born and raised?
So I've always been in Ontario. I was born in Newmarket, which is probably, 45 minutes to an hour away from here.
Okay.
Grew up in a little tiny town called Cookstown, which had 3,000 people maybe.
Wow.
Yeah, very small place. And then from there, I kind of scattered after I moved out of my parents' house, moved up north where it's a little quieter. But yeah, it's been small town living for me pretty much my entire life.
The epitome of a small, humble living.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that.
Yeah, farm towns kind of thing.
Farm towns. Dude, okay. Sounds good.
Yeah.
What were you like as a kid? Because I'd imagine you were into skateboarding when you were younger.
Yeah, so when I was little, I was obsessed with Lego. That was my thing.
Oh, dude.
My
Shout out Legos.
parents have bins and bins and bins of it just from when I used to live there.
Yeah.
And then from there, late 90s, I started getting into the tech decks when the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater games came out,
Yeah.
which is, I'm pretty sure, most guys' story for that.
Oh, for sure.
But yeah, it was just skateboarding and all that kind of stuff because my brother, he's a couple years older than me. He started skateboarding first, which I think is, pretty standard for a lot of younger brothers
Yeah.
to follow what their big brother's doing.
Oh, 100%.
And so yeah, he started skateboarding. Then that's when it was really hot, and all the kids at school were playing the games with the tech decks and all the stuff like that. So yeah, we just kind of rolled with it and never really stopped.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of did a little bit later on with high school,
Yeah.
when you kind of
Yeah,
get
yeah.
a little older.
You transition away for other stuff.
Girls and cars and whatever.
Dude,
so.
I talk about the same thing on my podcast with Jake.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was music and girls.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
There's
feel
always
you on
something. There's always something that kind of pulls you away for a bit.
That. Yeah, absolutely. Would you say that would when it comes to your first experience with skateboarding, would you say it was definitely watching your brother skate, or was there a specific point in time or something you can recall that really kind of said, okay, this is why I want to skateboard?
I'm gonna say probably tech decks.
Tech decks.
Because that was late 90s.
Okay.
And that's when I was you're a little boy and you start to want to kind of do the bigger kid stuff.
Heck yeah.
So the tech decks and then skateboarding. My brother, he got into it first because my dad would bring home skate videos from his coworkers.
Love that.
So we were watching Anthology and Birdhouse, The End. That was a big one.
That was such a sick video.
Yeah, I remember watching Reynolds' part
Yeah.
over and
Oh,
over and
yeah.
over again when I was a kid. And that's probably where
Boss.
it really blossomed from there, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. When it comes to skateboarding, was it ever I want to go pro, or was it always just kind of skating around with your friends?
I was never nearly good enough to have that thought in my head.
Same.
No, I got okay. I could do a couple ledge tricks and stuff like that, but I was
Yeah.
never jumping down big sets of stairs. It was just like hanging out with friends, especially in high school. You kind of just all go to the park during on the weekends just to kind of get together, hang out.
I like that. Okay. Do you have a favorite skateboard company?
Right now, probably GX1000.
What about when you were younger? What was what was that brand for you growing up?
First was probably Birdhouse, just because that was like the big brand with Tony and everything.
Yeah, heck yeah.
And then probably Alien Workshop after that. They were pretty good back then.
They were gnarly.
Yeah.
Yeah, my first board was an Andrew Reynolds Birdhouse.
Oh yeah?
Heck yeah, dude.
That's sweet.
As far as for your favorite pro skater,
right now,
or even back then.
Oh, back then.
I mean, we do both.
Reynolds, Muska. It's the cliche answers for the late '90s, early 2000s, and like Bam Margera, of course, because the Bam days were pretty serious.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Everyone wanted the Element deck after that.
Oh yeah, man, with the little insignia, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the heart star. I forget what it's called.
Yeah, the heartogram.
Yeah, there you go,
Yeah.
dude. That's sick. Tell me about your first pro skateboard.
I honestly couldn't remember
No.
because like my dad, he's a bit of a cheap guy.
Yeah.
So he'd buy me like the blanks from the shop. Mm-hmm. So like I think my first memorable like good skateboard was a yellow bottom plied blank.
Okay.
I had Destructo trucks because those were cool back then.
Destructo.
Yeah.
That just unlocked the memory.
And probably not good wheels, just
Yeah.
white ones that rolled. I don't think that we were getting like Spitfire or anything like that back then.
What about bearings? Do you remember your bearings? There's always a weird one.
Well, Mini Logo, because that was the cheap
That
at the
was the
skate
cheap
shop.
brand?
So you could get a pack for like $10 or whatever Canadian.
I like that.
So yeah, that's what, because you can't see it, you can't tell. So
Can't
my
see
dad's
it.
like, I'm not spending money on
I was about to say, if it rolls, it rolls.
Exactly. Yeah.
I like that. Push harder.
Exactly. Go downhill.
Yeah,
Go
there you
downhill.
go. Skate on a hill.
Yeah.
What about your local shop? Was that a big thing for you? I know for some people, hanging out at the local skate shop is huge. Some it's not. Were you like a skate rat?
I
kid?
was once I got to high school, because then I had more freedom too. Because like our local skate shop was called Cheap Skates, and
Yeah.
it was about a 20-minute drive from my house. So like I couldn't just go there as like a young kid and hang out for the day, because my mom wouldn't just drop me off there.
Right.
But yeah, once high school came around, I had my first job, and then it was like all cash. So I just every chance I got to go there, I just went there and spent all my money,
Dude.
making my parents mad at me for just not saving anything all the time.
Oh, for sure. My first job, it was like cash the check immediately. We're buying concert tickets.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was
You
crazy.
remind me of my brother then.
Really?
My brother's big into music. He was an emo kid back in the day.
Oh,
and
dude.
yeah,
Such an emo kid.
He spent like $4,000 on a Gibson SG
Oh,
back
yeah.
when he was in high school.
It was serious.
Oh yeah.
It was not a phase. Mom, if you're listening, it's not a phase.
He still plays music too, so
That's wild.
yeah.
Dude, shout out your brother. So clearly you're someone who has an appreciation for old school skate company graphics, considering how many Bloob graphics you have that pay tribute to rad graphics from the past.
Mm-hmm.
Was there a specific deck or graphic that got away? Like that you really wanted as a kid and you just never got?
Probably one of like the Zero graphics, like because I never had any of the ones that I sell on Fingerboards. Like I've never actually had as a skateboard, and like that one, just the Zero Skull. That one's always just been like a classic.
Oh yeah.
Watching Jamie Thomas too, because the only pro skateboarder with the first name that I have. I was pretty into Jamie Thomas too.
There you go.
So yeah, Zero was I always wanted a Zero, but could never lock that down.
We gotta get you a Zero board. We gotta heal.
I should get one. I got the money. I'm
about to
a
say,
big kid now.
Yeah, we're gonna have to hit a skate shop after this. Just heal little Jamie.
Yeah.
I like that. I know we kind of already mentioned like the Tony Hawk games, but talk to me about the impact that kind of had on you when it came to not only skateboarding but also slowly transitioning to fingerboarding, because I believe it was Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 when they really leaned into it. You remember that when they had like the decks from the video games and stuff like that?
Yeah, and all the packaging had the Pro Skater.
So talk to me about the Tony Hawk games. Who was your go-to skater?
Probably Muska, just because of the backpack. I know I've heard that answer so many times on this podcast, but it's he was just the guy then.
Yeah. Big time.
The TSA jersey and everything. Yeah,
dude.
I wanted a jersey after that, but
Muska's the man.
Yeah, he still is.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He's a little nutty now, but
yeah,
it's all right.
Shout out Muska. We're all a little nutty.
Yeah, exactly.
When it comes to I know you mentioned like watching skate videos with your dad. Do you have any skate videos that you would say were the most like impactful on you growing up? Like a favorite skate video?
So once I actually got into skateboarding, there was the KO Corp video. So that was like DGK, like Gold Wheels Organica, all
Yeah.
those companies.
Mm.
And back when I was like 14, I thought I was a little gangster skateboarder. I was wearing like the tall tees and stuff because that's what was cool at the time.
Yeah, yeah.
At least for me, I thought it was cool. Looking back, maybe not so cool.
Maybe
but,
not so cool.
Like Wade Desarmo, he was always one of my favorites once I got a little bit older.
Yeah.
So that video, yeah, it's official, but the KO Corp video, that one for sure. I could still watch it over and over again now.
I like that. And I know we haven't transitioned to skate or fingerboarding yet, but when it comes to how important skate videos were for skate companies back then, do you feel any sort of way in regards to, like, are there enough full-on like fingerboard videos for teams and stuff like that, or is that something that you hope to do in the future, or do you feel like that's even important at this point when it comes to fingerboarding and full-length videos?
I think for like a real fingerboarder, they're important, but a lot of people don't have the attention span anymore because like you can watch a 3-minute edit and then like it's hard to keep your interest after that.
Yeah.
Like the awful video was great. Like it was great
Thank
because
you.
everything,
Thank you.
all the parts were so good and
Yeah.
it was just super well edited that I could actually watch it start to finish.
Yeah.
But some of these ones I can't pay attention the whole time.
Yeah.
But that could
It's a
just be
lot.
because I'm distracted with my life or whatever. I'm trying to work at the same time.
Yeah.
It's hard to do everything at once sometimes.
No, I feel it. I feel it.
But,
I totally feel like I have some ADHD tendencies.
Oh, yeah.
From like starting a part, and I'm like, I'll get back to it.
Yeah, social media too, right? Like I'll
Oh,
end up,
for
I'm
sure.
watching TV. Next thing I know, I'm watching my phone. So
The doom scroll is real.
it's tough, yeah. But like we're working on something right now, our team.
Sweet.
So who knows when that's gonna come out?
Right.
Just because everyone's lives are so different.
Oh, for sure.
Because some of us can fingerboard all day, every day.
Yeah.
Others, we got kids, we
I was
got
about to
families
say.
and stuff. So
You got kids.
work, and it's just there's a lot for some people to deal with. But at the end of the day, it's gonna happen.
Love that.
We did one like 10-minute edit
Really?
a year and a half ago or something now.
Okay.
But yeah, it was okay.
that.
It never really went anywhere. It's all right. It's
Like
for
that.
us anyways.
Yeah, but a year and a half ago is not today. I mean, Bloob is
That's
really
true.
blown
Yeah.
up
We were a lot
fast.
smaller then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, bridging the gap between fingerboarding and skateboarding, I wanted to ask your opinion on this. So, is it possible for someone to fully love and appreciate fingerboarding if skateboarding was never really something they were into when they were younger?
I think at first you're gonna have no idea. Like you're not gonna know like the skate IQ kind of stuff. Like
Right.
what tricks are legal and what are illegal.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think eventually, once you start actually getting into it and you see the parts that other people are filming and stuff like that, I think that you can fully appreciate it for sure. Yeah. It'll just take you a little bit longer than an actual skateboarder would. I
for
think.
sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, because I feel like when you can always kind of tell the guys who used to skate, when you watch them fingerboard, it's just like a style thing. You know what I mean?
For sure, for sure.
You can kind of just
You can
like,
see
oh,
the
yeah.
pop outs and all
Yeah,
the little
yeah.
nuances that are
Yeah.
reminiscent of skateboarding.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Talk to me about your first experience with fingerboarding. I know we talked about like skateboarding kind of, or the tech decks kind of got you into skateboarding, but talk to me about the first time you kind of picked up a fingerboard. Maybe you kind of realized, hey, I can do tricks on this thing. What was that like?
So that would actually be probably 2006 or 2007. So I was in like grade 9, I think, at the time, and my buddies and I, we would play with tech decks in elementary school and get them taken away all the time.
Oh, for sure.
But eventually, we kind of get into it a little bit more, just because like someone learns how to kickflip or whatever, and that's like, oh, now we all gotta.
Now we
figure it
all
out.
got to do it. Yeah.
So like then you go onto YouTube, and this is like the early days where it was like Mike Schneider was like the only real like presence on YouTube at the time that I could tell of, at least.
Uh-huh.
And then from there he did like the Bondo mold videos. So like we're a bunch of like 13-year-olds trying to figure this out, just making messes in my dad's workshop. And
With the Bondo molds.
Yeah, he'd still be able to tell you the mess. It's probably still there actually.
Wow.
But
Bunch of Bondo stuck to the floor.
yeah, exactly. And like that kind of stuff. And like we'd go to the hardware store and like you're trying to buy the right material, but
Not working out.
no, we're using like edge banding for tables that's like this wide and
no.
trying to glue it together, and it just it didn't work. So from there, then you kind of you get some money, and then you kind of get your first real board.
Yeah, those early DIY days, trying to figure out RAMs and stuff.
That's Yeah,
that's fun.
It's almost important, I think.
Yeah.
Because it makes you realize how good you got it when you can come into a place like this and
Oh yeah,
like insane.
and just pick up a ramp.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would think, but there you go.
Yeah, we were doing the cardboard cereal boxes.
Oh,
that kind of stuff. Yeah.
It was like stacking the books for a staircase.
Oh yeah, that was in class. Use your textbooks.
Oh, for sure.
Until your tech deck gets taken away.
Yeah, a little proper ledge. I feel that. Tell me about your first pro fingerboard setup, right? So obviously we've all used a tech deck, right? But it's a totally different ball game when you get your hands on a pro board. So what was that like? Do you remember what your setup was, or what? How did you get that setup?
So I think my first one that I can remember, because like this is going back quite a ways now. It's like half my life ago.
Yeah.
I want to say it was a Morningwood, which is such a silly name, but shout out to him.
Yeah.
He made some good stuff back then. So yeah, the Morningwood, it was just a blank. I had the Tech Deck longboard trucks, because by this time we were already getting to like 29 and 30 millimeter boards.
Yeah.
So you needed like the little extra width from like the longboard trucks at the time.
Yeah.
And then I had the turquoise flat face G4s, which were like the wheel at the time. Like if you had those, you were the guy.
The tippy top.
Yeah. And like it was such an ugly setup now that I look back at it.
I like that. Just looking back, you're like, yeah.
Yeah. And then after that, I got a couple more. I had one of those. It had like an aluminum weave on the bottom.
Yeah.
So it was called an Alumalight by Morningwood. Those were like my first real boards.
Okay.
That's what really got me hooked. And I had like this is back when you can get FBS extra smooth pre-cut.
Ooh, okay.
So it was shaped to the board,
Yeah,
but I had a
shaped to the board.
30 and it was like 28 millimeters wide or
Oh,
something like
man,
that.
so you
So
just had
there's
tons
like a
of board.
yeah. So it's just like this big border around the
Yeah.
outside. And it just looks
Big
so
wood
goofy.
ring around it.
But you do what you got to do when you're a kid, you know?
Yeah, you kind of make it work. Did you ever modify like Tech Deck trucks or paint them with nail polish or anything like that?
I used to shape them.
Shape them?
I did when that kind of became a thing where you take like the chainsaw file and you
Yeah, file it down.
But they never looked good.
Yeah.
It's too hard
It's like,
to make them.
at the time, you're like, yo, I killed this.
Yeah.
And then
At the
looking
time,
back, you're like, yeah, no, didn't kill it in the way I thought I killed it.
Hindsight's 20/20, so they say.
I like that. At what point in your fingerboard, I guess, journey did it kind of dawn on you that you wanted to start your own like brand? Like, was that always something that you wanted to do? Like that you were interested in making decks, or what was that like for you?
So I did all the stuff that we were just talking about there. That was from about 06 to 09, maybe 2010.
Yeah.
And then after there, I took a break when I started driving, and you start getting more at the freedom. And then I kind of
Yeah.
came back, I don't know, about 3 years ago now, and got my
That's
first.
a pretty big gap.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Stepped away from fingerboarding.
Well, I was doing like snowboarding and stuff in between. And
Okay.
keeping myself sort of that need was met in other ways. But yeah, so then I came back and I got one of those Performance Series Tech Decks, the wood ones, and I was like, this thing is garbage.
Garbanzo.
Like it's just like the tape sucks and
Yeah.
whatever, and like the boards aren't rounded. But like compared to a regular Tech Deck, I thought it was pretty good at the time.
Yeah.
And then from there, I found Six Skates
Right.
on the internet, and I was like, holy cow, there's a Canadian fingerboard shop,
Yeah.
which back in the day, that was just a fever
thing.
dream. Like
Yeah.
that would never happen.
Yeah.
Shout out to Vito.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, then I think I got like a dynamic deck, the one with the kitty cats on the bottom.
Dude, that's actually one graphic that got away.
Yeah.
Scott, if you're watching this, I
can
need
still
that
get
graphic.
it.
I've told you 1,000 times. Yeah.
So I got that, had some China chucks and some CNC wheels, and from there I was just like full steam ahead.
Okay.
But then I tried to get into some more like bit more bougie brands, you know, and you want like the nice trucks and stuff. So I really got into Poly fingerboards. Shout out to Tyler.
Oh yeah, he's great.
He's the best. And amazing boards and stuff. So the reason why I wanted to start making my own, because I got tired of waiting 3-4 weeks for a board to come in the
Shipping.
mail, because it's at least 2.5 weeks sometimes just
Yeah.
for it to, like, from when it leaves the board maker's hands to get to me, and sometimes it's a couple weeks for them to ship it. So I'm like waiting a month, and I'm like, this is just like, I don't want to keep doing that. And you pay $15 for shipping just to wait a month, like, no.
Yeah, that's rough.
So I started making them just because I wanted to have my own boards in my hands when I wanted them.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, it never was supposed to be a brand or anything at all, because it was just something I was just doing to
Right.
fill my time.
Okay.
And then some buddies that I'd met over Instagram would think, oh, those are looking pretty good. I'm like, you want one?
Yeah.
Send you one? Sure. And from there, it kind of just slowly spread into what it is today, I guess.
Okay. I noticed that like your first post on Instagram, doing a deep dive on your gram yesterday, some of the first like pictures that you posted were of just blank boards, and you would hashtag like create your skate.
Yeah.
Was that the mold you were using?
Yeah. So
Okay,
back
cool.
then, I was using Create Your Skate molds.
Okay.
Which if you're just starting, they're great. They're perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Everything you
starting
need
out.
is right there.
Oh yeah.
You don't need a vise. You don't need a press. It's just right there. Holes are there.
Yeah.
You're good to go. So for that, like if you're starting, by all means, use those molds.
Oh yeah, create your skate's great. And then when you started the Instagram, did you start it like with Bloob in mind, or was it already like did you kind of just start it as like I don't know what this is yet, but
So
you know.
I was initially Hildeborg,
Hilda.
FB, Hildeborg, because my last name is Hildebrand.
Okay.
So I turned that into Hildeborg, and then from there I was like, I don't really like this name, so I switched it to Bloob FB, which it was before I was making decks, because my one cat, her name is Blueberry,
Yeah.
so we call her Bloob, and then from there I was like, I like that name, I'll make that my Fingerboard Instagram name.
I love
then,
that.
And then when I started making decks, I was like, should I change it or should I just run it as it is? And my buddies were like, just leave it. Just do it. Yeah, it's fine. It sounds all right for a deck company. I was like, okay. And it's stuck ever since. So.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely better than Hildeborg. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, shout out Hildebrand.
Yeah. It's a good German name in me.
Yeah.
But yeah,
you
it
go.
was not the same. No.
So Bloob Fingerboards named after a cat.
Yeah.
I love it.
And then all my molds are named after. So I got the Blueberry, which is my cat. I got Maverick, which is my dog. And then Toast, which is my other cat.
I feel like I immediately love Bloob even more now. I love that.
There's a lot of animal lovers out there. So.
I love that. I can relate. I have a dog at home and a cat, hairless cat.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're a big animal family.
Some days I wish my cats didn't have hair.
Oh yeah, no, but maybe not though, because there's when they have no hair, they have nothing to like sop up the oils on their skin, so it gets a little.
Get a little slippery?
Yeah. Fun fact: my cat is actually related to the original Mr. Bigglesworth.
No way.
Really, from Austin Powers.
That's a claim to fame.
Yeah, there you go. That's my one thing. I lead with that actually. On my resume, I lead with that, and then I talk about the podcast and stuff.
That's cool.
So,
That's
yeah.
cool. I like
Heck
that.
yeah. You like that?
How do you know that?
The breeder that we got her from, which got her about like 14 years ago, so we didn't realize that breeders were bad. But sorry about that, internet. But 14 years ago, we got her from a breeder, and so our cat is like, I want to say 2 generations out. So not her cat dad, but the cat's dad's cat dad was the one on set.
So great granddaddy was
Yep.
Mr. Bigglesworth. That's
Yeah,
cool.
I love it.
That's hilarious.
Heck yeah! All right, so I can't get over the name. The name with your cat. That's so sick.
Yeah.
Okay, so when it comes to making fingerboards, it seems like a lot of the tricks and tips to kind of get into it are pretty well kept secrets. It's not really like something you can just go and kind of get all the right answers in one spot. So if anyone, were there any brands or any friends or anything like that helped you out along your journey, or was it truly just a whole lot of trial and error till you got it right?
Making decks myself, just like when I was doing blanks, that was pretty much all me. Because you see the videos, like the edits where people do, where
Right.
they got the router table and they're doing all the stuff.
Right.
So you can see how a deck's made pretty easy, but with the graphics, the real heat transfers and stuff, so that
Was that the tough part?
it wasn't that bad actually, because my buddy from Decision Decks,
Okay.
Jay, he hooked me up. He told me what to do. He said what he does, and then he told me like methods you can apply them, which I'd always seen the little rollers, but I didn't know it was a laminator that was
It's taken apart.
chopped apart and stuff.
Yeah,
So,
oh yeah, for sure.
and he was like, "Oh yeah, you can use like a hair curling iron if you wrap it
Oh,
and like this
dude.
rubber tape stuff." And I'm like, "I ain't doing that. No.
Yeah.
that sounds way too complicated. I'm gonna wrinkle them all up."
Yeah, no. I had
So,
a homie,
yeah,
I had a
he-
homie that did the hair straightener. Didn't work out.
No, probably not.
Yeah.
You definitely need a barrier between the two.
Oh, for sure.
Keep that graphic protected.
I like that.
Yeah. But yeah, it was just good people help out other people.
Okay.
I think it's important, and I don't think it's as big of a secret as it used to be.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy to find that knowledge now. I've told countless people where to go. I've given them my graphic supplier's email. Just reach
Really?
out. Yeah.
So it's safe to say that you're not into the gatekeeping aspect of it.
No, I don't care.
Okay.
Just because when you're starting out, it's frustrating.
Yeah.
You know what? Someone's gonna tell them eventually.
Absolutely.
Might as well be you.
Yeah, there
Why
you
not?
go. When it
Save-
comes to like shaping your boards or at least cutting them, right? Like after when they're squares, do you route them or
Yeah, so everything's routed just because it's way faster.
Way
'Cause,
faster,
like there's
more
days where I
precise.
gotta make like 30 boards, and like
Yeah.
I'm not I'd be there for 3 days doing that.
yeah,
So yeah, you just use the router table, bing bang boom, your board's done in 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And take it to the belt sander, just because you got to get off that little point on the,
Yeah,
on the kicks. I get that off on the belt sander, then it's just hand sanding after that. Yeah.
okay. What's the production time look like for one Bloob board, start to finish?
Start to finish.
Like
So
if you were just sitting here
if we're
making
not
one
counting
board.
the time in the press,
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe with like my labor time and not including like boards drying and stuff, probably like I don't know. I don't want to sound like it's too fast and be like
I know. they're
ripping
gonna
these
be like,
people
well,
off.
yeah.
No, it's I don't know. I'd say I put a half hour in each board.
Okay. I
Specifically,
mean,
and
you're
then
saying a
doing
half hour,
graphics
but
and
you're also not
packaging
doing
and-
one board at a time.
No.
So
no.
yeah, so
so
one
it's-
board at a time, sure.
Yeah.
But you're probably making them in big batches. But I'm curious
That's right.
in regards to the glue, if you don't mind me asking, because we have a board podcast coming up where I have a couple board makers on there, and they all have very different opinions on how long and stuff like that should it be in the mold. How long does a Bloob deck sit in a mold?
2 hours
Really?
at the least. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll do like 2 hours overnight, whatever. It doesn't matter. But like if I'm
Minimum
if
2
I
hours.
yeah, if I need to press a bunch of boards, like if I got a wholesale order coming up and they need 30 boards,
Yeah.
like I don't want them to wait a month when it
Right.
makes actually no difference.
Right.
Because I've never had someone come back to me and say, "Oh, your board doesn't have any pop." And it's like, okay.
Yeah. No.
If that was the case, I'd press them longer. But
Yeah.
no, 2 hours. And I know people that do less.
Yeah.
I know a couple guys that'll do hour and a half.
Wow.
It all depends on the glue.
Depends on the glue. I like
If
it.
you're using wood glue, like just regular wood glue, that thing's got to be in there for
Yeah.
a day or two.
I like that.
Get the moisture out. So
All right, sounds good. So Bloob is one of those brands that arguably has some of the best graphics in the scene, and they kind of range from like total original stuff that's more simple to just like a logo, and it kind of ranges to more complex designs. But you also have a bunch of, and when I say rips, I don't mean to sound.
no,
You
that's
know-
what they
Okay,
are.
okay. Because some people when they hear rips, they're like it sounds insulting, but no, like skate.
No,
rips, right?
I'm borrowing graphics. Yeah.
Perfect. So when it comes to specifically the process and coming up with Bloob graphics, what does that look like? And I ask because you're probably one of the brands that has an insane amount of graphics. To be honest,
Oh
with you.
yeah, I have like 300.
I was
or so.
yeah, and
Just
that's,
heat transfers whenever I need to use them. Just different graphics. Like I got, for some reason, I have this problem where I just
Yeah.
buy graphics when I want new ones.
yeah.
So like I have sheets on sheets on sheets at home.
What's that process look like though? Like when you're sitting down and you have like the blank space and you're like, all right, I'm gonna do a new graphic. Is it just like do you draw anything or is it just putting stuff together or what is it? What does it mainly like consist of?
Everything. So
Really?
there's collage graphics. I did like a bunch of sci-fi looking ones a
Okay.
little while ago, and they're all like different cut up images from like the internet.
Yeah.
You know, so there's like one graphic. It's got like 6 or 7 different pieces of sci-fi art on it or whatever.
Sure.
And then the other ones that I usually do, just like the basic ones, I'll see that in my head first, and then I have like the idea, and then I go on the computer and then I'll draw it up myself. But I also have friends that help me out. My one team rider, Dog Shit, he does a lot of them. My other buddy, Twakio, on the team, he does a lot of them. And then I got another couple other buddies that aren't on the team, but they help me out too. So
That's good.
yeah,
Think
it's a team effort to get the graphics. Yeah, just
I
because
like
there's
that.
so many different styles that people want, and like I'm only capable of doing so much myself, like artistically.
Yeah, yeah.
So help's good. Doesn't hurt.
No,
Hook
absolutely.
them a couple boards for their work, kind of thing, and yeah.
Heck yeah. I like that. Shout out Dog Shit, by the way.
Yeah.
He's a great dude.
Like,
I've hung out with
he's
him at
amazing.
Rendezvous a couple times. He's a sweetheart.
He's a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah. He's a lot of fun.
Wild guy.
Yeah, love that dude. Specifically when it comes to the rip graphics, right?
Yeah.
There's always the split crowd, right? Like you have the people like myself who really don't mind them if they're done tastefully, right? And then you have the people that will be in the comments like real original.
Tagging Zero
yeah.
skateboards and
Yeah.
DGK, and it's like,
Exactly.
come on, man.
So, what would be your response to those people? Like, if so, because the main thing is like they're like you're ripping people off, and
well, I've been called a thief before.
yeah,
I was called a thief actually the other day.
oh yeah,
by
for sure.
someone who I will not name, unknowingly that it was not stolen.
Yeah.
The art was actually what's it called? Free contribution art, something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
So like my guy who did the graphic, he showed me he's got the Illustrator file where you can separate every layer.
Yeah.
Show me all that, so it's not stolen.
Yeah.
But if you want to tell me it's stolen, I guess like, I can't do anything.
Yeah, do anything about it. Yeah.
No.
There's been a couple times where people are tagging Andrew Reynolds in the awful post.
Oh, come on.
And it's like, come on, dog. Like,
I think
or-
Andrew Reynolds would be flattered that somebody likes his
Yeah.
A graphic enough
oh yeah,
to make it.
it's sick.
And produce
when
it for
I did,
other people.
Yeah, even when we did my first pro model, and it was modeled after the
Jamie Foy.
Jamie Foy. There were so many people that were, calling me, a bunch of names and this and that, and you'd tell them like, this is like, it's already a rip of Bob's Big Boy,
Yeah.
and they had no idea what that was.
That's it.
Yeah, it's like,
'Cause I have the DGK graphic with the High at Night one with the smile.
yeah,
Which is a rip off of another board from the 90s that DGK ripped off and then I ripped off. So it's skateboarding. It's a thing. I mean,
Yeah.
sure, it may not be right to just rip things off, but at the end of the
Right.
day, it's just for fun, and we're not making millions of dollars off these graphics. Like,
Yeah.
No.
No, I like it. Yeah, and again, when they're done right and when they're tastefully, it's cool. It's cool to see those on it.
I'd rather see a rip-off graphic that actually looks like the original
Yeah,
than the ones that are like blatantly like they're trying.
yeah,
But like the Zero one, I see it a bunch of times where they'll change the skull
yeah.
to a different shape, and I mean, I can understand why you do that because you don't want to rip it off, but to me, it just doesn't look as good.
Yeah,
I want to ride something that looks like the skateboard that I wanted when I was a kid.
I like that. Yeah. Fun fact: I put together that logo a couple years ago with the nosebleed one.
Yeah.
With without the skulls.
Oh yeah.
And I was told like, oh yeah, no, this isn't cool. And then split from the team, and then like a year later they dropped the graphic.
Oh.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Ouch.
Yeah, I love that one. Shout out those guys.
Well, you got a few in my car, so.
Dude, oh, you know what? I'm stoked on that. Let's just talk about that. How many times have I told you that the bloody nose graphic is gnarly?
It's like almost every time I share a person's
Anything.
setup, you're like, I need one.
That's the
it's
one,
such a
dude.
good graphic.
It's like obviously like you have like especially my buddy Andy. He has a bunch of Bloobs, so I've used the boards. They're great.
Yeah.
They have tons of cool graphics. But man, that bloody nose one, it just hits.
It's the graphic
Classic.
from when you were a kid.
Oh,
yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the zero. I've had a couple zero graphics, and that's probably definitely one that got away when I was a kid. Yeah,
I got the gold version coming out.
really.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do gold foil where the blood is because they did the same thing.
So you don't need me to tell you. I'm gonna need that one.
Okay.
We're just gonna have
I got
to.
you. I got you.
Dylan, if you're watching this, we're gonna have to do a Bloob and Awful collab because I need that. I need that bloody nose.
Yeah. Even if it's just for Chris.
Yeah, just a personal.
Yeah.
We got to do it. All right. So let's move on here. It says a couple months ago, it seems like you caught everyone by surprise by releasing Wheels. Was Wheels always part of the plan? Was that something that just kind of happened? Or talk to me about the decision or the thought process that went into releasing Bloob Wheels.
So what happened is in early winter. So my son was about 4 months old at the time. My wife had to go get surgery done. She had a brain tumor removed.
Oh my goodness.
And in that time, I had to stay home to take care of the baby because
Right.
she couldn't lift more than 5 pounds for like 6 weeks.
Okay.
And then, so in that amount of time, I was just like sitting with him all the time, and I'm like,
Yeah.
my brain's constantly
Yeah,
moving.
constantly
And like,
going.
I'm talking to Clark from Dude Guy, and he was making me a couple sets of wheels too. And I rode pyros for years before.
Yeah.
And he was talking to me how he makes them, and I was like, I could probably do that. Like, it doesn't sound that. It's
Doesn't sound like crazy.
it's hard at first, and it's messy and stuff, but once you get it down, it's all right. Like, it's not. I'm not saying it's by no means as easy as making boards,
Right.
but it's I don't know. It's easy enough that I can do it comfortably.
Yeah.
I can do it all in my house, which is nice. I don't have to go out to the garage. So in the wintertime, I'm gonna really enjoy making wheels over boards.
Oh, for sure.
But yeah, no, it kind of just happened out of boredom, I guess. And like at the time,
Okay.
so yeah, I was just tinkering pretty much like all day, every day when
Right.
when my baby would let me.
Yeah.
And then after that, I went to go back to work after that 6 weeks was up.
Yeah.
And my work ran out,
Oh,
so I got laid off.
that's.
And then at that point, I was like, all right, let's run it. Let's
Yeah.
do it. Ever since I've been full time Bloob.
Full-time
I've been full time ever since then.
Congrats.
Paying
That's
my
huge.
mortgage, feeding my family, doing what I
Dude.
got to do. Thank everybody.
That is huge. That is
everybody
so sick.
who's helping make that happen. And yeah, it's just been. I think if I didn't have the wheels, I wouldn't be able to. Probably,
Yeah.
it'd be a lot tighter. But yeah, the wheels have been amazing, and people seem to really like them. I'm really hyped on that, and it's a lot. It's fun too because it's another way for me to be creative.
Yeah.
Because with decks, it's like you can get into shapes and different graphics, but after 2 years of doing just that, it kind of got a little stale. So this kind of helped refuel.
Kind of refuel that.
Yeah, refuel that urge to want to keep making stuff. So
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Sick. Are there any pros and cons to keeping the wheels under the same Bloob name as opposed to just starting a wheel company with a different name?
Pros? I already have one Instagram that's already got so many followers that see them.
I like that.
Because if you start fresh, you got a new page that you got to promote, and then you got to go back and forth again between your accounts. Because I have a personal Fingerboard account which I started a couple months ago,
Okay.
and I've constantly I have that account in my team's group chat.
Okay.
So if you were to look at that group chat, it's half the messages are from Bloob, and then half the messages are from my private account.
Okay.
Because I'm still trying to figure out how to go back and forth.
Back and forth.
The other day, I posted for the drop that I just did yesterday on my other account by
Oh,
accident.
no.
I posted. I was like, oh, damn, I got to
Yeah.
rewrite all
That's
that on the other account.
That's the worst.
So I don't want to get into having multiple accounts. And I was going to name them something else, but keep them under the same page. Sort of like what Redemption does, right? Where they have abstract wheels are under the same Instagram. I was going to do that, but I just thought, nah, I mean, I'm not one for flashy names and trying to confuse people. So Bloob, Dex, Bloob, Wheels. You can't get it confused. Yeah.
I like that. And then shout out to Clark too, by the way.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean,
Clark was a huge help. He helped me with a lot of the design work.
He's great.
Yeah, for
I like that. Are you able to talk to me about the process? I know that for some it's a little bit of a touchy subject just because it's kind of everyone has their own styles, little tricks and tips, but more so are your wheels poured? Are they?
No, they are 3D printed.
3D
So
printed?
yeah, so they're printed. They're like a dude guy F2. And I'm sure there's a couple other people that do them. The names just aren't coming to my head. But
Okay.
yeah, that's why Clark helped me out a lot. He didn't give me what material to use,
Yeah.
but he kind of talked to me about turning your design into an actual wheel. So taking your 3D model, I kind of figured that part out on my own.
Yeah.
But he just kind of, I had any questions about doing this or that and stuff, he helped me out. Because if you got to know how to deal with the printing process before you even start.
Right. I mean, it sounds easy to say, "Oh, just gonna 3D print something," but I'm sure there's
No.
yeah,
Yeah, you got to learn CAD design,
Yeah.
all that stuff. Because you can't just go on Google and go, I need a wheel file.
a wheel file.
No, it's not that easy. Yeah, you got to make them from scratch. And then I just did the embossing recently, and that was a bit of a learning curve for sure. Because it wasn't as easy as just dragging your picture onto the CAD file. No. So that was tricky, but I don't know. I mean, once you learn, it's like any skill, right?
And honestly, the wheels seem great. Again, my buddy Andy, huge Bloob fan. So whenever he comes over, I'm always messing with his setups. He has a bunch of wheels and decks and stuff.
He's a good dude.
Oh yeah, shout out Andy.
Yeah.
When it comes to if they're 3D printed, would that? And sorry if this is a weird question, but is it? So there wouldn't be plastic wheels then. There wouldn't be
No, they're a resin wheel.
resin wheel.
So I mean, you can kind of maybe call them plastic, but at the end of the day, it's a UV resin,
Okay.
and it reacts just like you could say it's kind of like a hybrid. I can make it feel more like plastic, or I can make it feel more like urethane if I want.
Right.
So I kind of mix them up and kind of get a good in between, to the best I can at least.
I like that.
Yeah, because different colors, the white that I do is probably the grippiest at first, but it kind of wears in and gets a little less grippy, which is nice.
I like that.
And then the tans and the blacks, they're pretty good right out of the package. Yeah, they feel really good.
That's sick. Okay, so it's safe to say that with Bloob, boards are made in house, wheels are made in house.
Everything is made in my basement or my garage. Yeah.
Okay. And even with the growing popularity, and I'd imagine many more boards and wheels are selling and stuff like that, still just you.
Yeah, I'm the only one. My wife helps me sometimes. She'll do the packaging, so she'll put the the grip and the stickers in the little bags there.
Yeah.
She'll fold all the board tags up for
That's
me.
so sick.
Yeah, so she does. She helps me out too. She used to cut my graphics up for me too,
Really?
but the big guillotine cutter thing isn't quite as sharp as it used to be.
Oh,
So
yeah.
she doesn't have the patience for it anymore,
I like that.
which I don't blame her because that's That's my least favorite part about making
yeah.
any fingerboard product is cutting up those huge graphic sheets.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, it's not fun.
Shout out supportive wives.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. My wife and I were doing boards, and yeah, she's
Yeah, I've
always
seen them.
like,
I've seen them. They look good.
Oh yeah, no, and I will say I got to give her total credit because I'm over here like we're doing boards, and I'm like
She's doing boards.
Yeah, I do a little bit of the sanding, but she's over there taking them, put them in the press, taking them out.
So she uses a belt sander.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. You know what? Right. So we're kind of in the middle on if we're gonna do a belt sander or if we're gonna do a router. So at the moment, Dylan from Awful is doing the routing for us.
Oh, I think I did see that in one of your vlogs or something.
Yeah, so he does all the routing. Shout out Dylan. We'll take him like a big stack of decks. I'm like, please. And he'll route them for us. We'll go home. I'll do a little bit of the sanding. And yeah, she'll do all the clear coating and stuff like that. So
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. So it's pretty sick.
My wife always goes like, "Oh, can I make one?" Then like we'll start. We'll get it into the press.
Yeah.
Into the mold and everything. And then it's kind of me after that.
Yeah.
So.
You're like, well, that's pretty much where it ends.
Well, because like I'm not gonna let her. Like she could try to use the router, but I'd be in the corner like.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
I honestly, I'm too scared to use the router.
You got to
My
be
wi-
confident with power
Yeah.
tools.
Oh yeah, and see, my wife is like way more brave than I am. So like, I would never like 100%. I'd rather not make boards than use a router if that was the only option.
Oh yeah. My wife's
And-
probably braver than I am too. So don't feel bad. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I had a buddy come over, and I asked him if he knew how to route, and he's like, "Yeah, I just got a router. I know how to do it. We're good." Put the board down, and it went, and it shot straight out of my garage into the side of his car. Yeah, dude. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to drive you to the hospital, so I think we're good.
For the first few, it's definitely worthwhile to like get it on the belt sander and get it as close to the template as you can.
Yeah.
That way, there's less wood to catch the bit funny.
Yeah.
Because you don't know which direction to go either at first.
Yeah.
Because that blade's spinning a certain way, so you got to go with it.
Yeah.
And it's your first couple, I got a few pretty good dings in some of my templates from learning. Yeah.
Heck yeah. I like that with the belt sander, but at Awful, it's more of just garden shears.
Yeah.
Just
I use the shears for just the corners.
Yeah.
Just because
Heck
that's the
yeah.
part that like and it
Yeah,
kinda
to
freaks me
catch
out.
it real quick.
So I just do I just trim each corner first and then I'm good.
Oh, dude. Well, gotta watch those fingers.
Yeah.
I like that.
You only got so many.
I know, right? So it seems like there's new companies popping up online every couple of days now that are doing more specifically boards, right? Yeah, some wheels and some companies are doing trucks and stuff, but mainly just companies popping up within fingerboarding in general.
Yeah.
If there were 3 things that you wish you knew when you started your company, to somebody who may be listening, thinking about starting their company, or who has started their company, what are a couple of things that you wish you knew early on?
There wasn't really anything I didn't know per se that I needed to know to start.
Right.
But because I just did some research, you find out what size drill bits you need and like the type of router and whatever. But I'm trying to think. I don't know. Nah.
Well, maybe not even just making boards though. Like what all goes into a company that like maybe didn't realize it was going to be so much social media, or you didn't realize it was going to be so much.
I'm winging that part.
Really?
I have been from the start. Yeah, I got no idea what I'm doing. Not with social media. Yeah, that's all. That's
Fake it till you make it.
Yeah, pretty much. I
couldn't tell.
just post stuff and I share what I think I should share. Like I used to share like everything I'd get tagged in, and like
Yeah.
I feel bad when I don't. But
Yeah.
I mainly now share people's setups
Right.
because that's what they want to see. You're following
Yeah.
my brand to see my products, not people use
Right.
my products necessarily, right?
I like that.
Because I used to like I know that when I'd follow a board brand, and I'd see their story every day, and it's just 15 clips of somebody I don't know
Right.
doing tricks
Yeah.
all, and I'm like, I'd follow that person if I wanted to. I know
Yeah.
it sounds kind of snobbish to say that, but like
No, no,
that's
yeah.
not what a brand's page, in my opinion, is necessarily. Because you're following it for the product, right?
Yeah.
But aside from the social media stuff, I don't know. I don't think there's anything that.
No.
I mean, maybe designing a mold. I wish I did a little bit better
Okay.
my first round. But my first ever mold is actually still my best seller,
Really?
which is funny. I just don't like it.
Okay. Okay.
I like low boards. And
Oh,
yeah,
for sure.
yeah, my first mold came out way steeper than I expected.
Okay.
But it worked out at the end of the day. So
I like it.
can't complain, I guess.
All right. Perfect. As a brand owner, I'm sure that your DMs are probably flooded with sponsor me requests. Is that the best way, in your opinion, to get sponsored by a company? And if not, what are some things what are some tips you can give people to kind of do when they're looking to get sponsored by a brand?
Short answer, no. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Because it's just annoying to me. Like if I don't know you, Like if I get
Yeah.
a message request and it says sponsor me, it's like I'm not even gonna
Yeah.
acknowledge you, to be honest, because like you're not putting any effort in.
Yeah.
You got to show that person that you actually you like what they're doing. Show them love, post their stuff, share their stuff. Like you got to work for it if you
Yeah.
want. If you want something, anything you want in life that's worth having,
Yeah.
you got to
Gotta
work
put in
for
the
it.
work.
Yeah. And like my team, a lot of my team is just like homies from when I started.
Right.
So like it's grown since, but it's you gotta have a relationship
Yeah.
with your team. You can't just be random people, because to me it doesn't make it look cohesive.
Yeah.
Like your team's got to look like they actually hang out. Like, because every skate team when you're
Yeah,
growing
yeah.
up, they're all skating together in the street,
Yeah.
and you want it to kind of have that sort of feel.
Yeah.
Because if it's just like some random kid that's like, hey, can I have a sponsorship or a free board, or what do I
Yeah.
got to do? And it's like, how many likes on TikTok? And I'm like,
Yeah.
it doesn't help
It's
me.
not- Yeah. No,
No.
for sure. Yeah, you got to have the good team vibes. If even one dude is off on the team, it throws off the whole vibes.
Yeah, like you got your group chat,
Yeah.
and if everyone talks to everybody,
Yeah.
that's a good sign to me.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah. No, 100%.
But yeah, the random.
I like that.
I don't like the random stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
What would you say is a good way to get noticed by a brand? Like what are people that you've noticed? What are they doing right that other people are doing wrong?
They're supporting. They're showing me love. So I just added somebody actually about a week ago.
Okay.
He just put his little edit up last night. Greg, he rides for Slush Called. He rides the pro boards.
Oh, really?
So he's on my wheel team.
Oh, that's sick.
And the reason I picked him is he
Right.
bought from my first drop
Right.
multiple sets of wheels,
That's sick.
which is like you're putting that much trust in me
Yeah,
for
yeah.
my first set of wheels. And then from there he kept buying them. And I was like, okay, he likes them. And we kind of started talking, and he's a good dude.
Yeah.
I like his fingerboard style. So the other day I reached out. I was like, hey, I got a question.
There you
You want to
go.
ride for the team?
Dude.
You almost have to have that relationship first.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I like that. Shout out Greg.
He's a good dude.
Absolutely. Can we expect any Bloob pros? Yeah. In time?
Yeah.
I like that.
Actually soon.
Very
But,
soon.
yeah.
Okay. Sounds
I
good.
was pretty on the fence about the whole thing for a long time. Like, I can see its place, but I wasn't the type. Like, you see these teams where everybody's got a pro model,
Yeah.
and like that's not what skateboard teams are like.
No, it's not.
You got to earn your stripes first, right?
Heck yeah.
So if you're not doing the most for your team, you're not putting out the edits, doing the promotion, actually being a presence.
Yeah. Because it's a lot more.
What
It's a lot
makes
more
you
than
deserve
skill.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you got to actually rep it.
Yeah,
you got to
100%.
want to. So yeah, we got something coming.
I like that, which is a perfect segue into my next question, because this is kind of something that we've talked about in other pods before, and it's kind of come up recently, and so a lot of people have different opinions on it. But as the owner of Bloob, would you ever make yourself pro? And if not, why not?
See, probably not,
Okay.
but that's just because I see myself as the maker
Okay.
more. Like I see Christian Gonzalez for Collier.
Collier, shout out
I like
Collier.
that. I think it's cool that he has a pro model,
Oh yeah.
like a couple.
He's been grinding for years.
Yeah, like he's a guy that's actually earned it first. I think.
Oh,
he
for
he
sure.
could ride for any other company and
Oh,
get a pro model
for sure.
So
He's a
'cause
beast.
and he's doing the vlogs. He's making himself,
I love
putting
it.
himself out there, which I think is another thing that makes you worthy
Right.
of the pro model. So stuff like that, yeah. But for me personally, no, I don't think I would do it. I don't know.
Okay. Personal
Because
preference.
you see skateboarding, they do it all the time. Jamie Thomas, Andrew Reynolds. It's a thing that they do,
Yeah.
which is fine. Because like if you're riding pro for somebody before,
Right.
and then you want to be an entrepreneur,
Mm-hmm.
and then capitalize more on being an entrepreneur because you have a big name before you start the company.
Right.
Sure,
I
makes
like
sense that way.
Okay. Easy enough. Sounds good. A couple, as we kind of wind down here, any chance in the future for any more Bloob gear? So I know we have the decks, obviously. We have the wheels. We have even like the cell
Little
phone
3D
holders
printed
now.
stuff,
Yeah. We have the skateboards,
Yeah.
which is a whole nother thing. But any other chance for maybe like some Bloob merch, Bloob trucks, Bloob anything you can kind of speak to?
So, merch I tried once. I did beanies, sold 2. So I was like, nah. I was pretty small then, but yeah, this was like a year and a half ago. Maybe I tried that.
Why? So you got the shirt?
I just make my own shirts for when I go to
okay.
events, because like I got a bunch of products that I'm bringing with me so people can find me.
Yeah.
Because you don't see my face
Yeah.
on my pages often,
Yeah.
so that just kind of helps people find me. But
Okay.
I sell, like, as far as selling merch, not really. Like, I'd like to leave that to like Slush Cult and stuff, where like they
Shout out Slush.
that's part of what they do. That's part of what he's always done.
Heck yeah.
So I think in that sense, it makes perfect sense to have fingerboard clothing. But for me, I don't think it'll move.
I like that.
So
There you go. Shout out Slush. Wearing that new.
but there is more Bloob
I like that.
branches coming soon.
Coming.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that. We're gonna have to talk about that off pod. Yeah, we'll have to talk about that in the car over to the event.
Yeah, sure.
I like that. All right, talk to me a little bit about Bloob Skateboards though. Is that going to be something that is that just kind of like a one-off for the Fingerboard brand, or is that something that you want to try and push to be like a legitimate, fully bona fide like skateboard company?
So to make it a legitimate skateboard company, no.
Okay.
It's just I'm not that into skateboarding anymore like I used to be.
Right.
Like I just hurt myself now. When I go skateboarding, I just hurt
For sure.
myself. Like my left leg will hurt for like 4 days after just from popping tricks.
Yeah.
But like I still have a skateboard. I still skateboard sometimes, but
yeah.
I bought those more because when I was skateboarding,
Yeah.
like last summer I skateboarded every chance I got.
Okay.
And then I had my son, and that kind of slowed me down. So like back then I was like, oh, I'm just gonna buy a stock of skateboards, because price of that is like me buying 10 decks for myself
Yeah.
at a skate shop.
Right.
Because like here, skateboard decks are like $110, $120
Wow.
Canadian. So it's like, I don't know, probably like $90 US
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, which is stupid, but in that sense, I get 50 boards for the same price as 10 at a shop,
Right.
and then I keep a bunch for myself, sell off the rest, and skateboard for free.
Makes
Right?
sense.
But I didn't sell off the rest.
Oh yeah, it's a good business model if it works.
No, so I still got a pretty good stack of them, but it's like they were bought and paid for. I didn't use credit or anything like that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's just, it was an experiment.
I like it.
It worked a little,
Okay.
but it's definitely not. No, I don't think I have the reach where I'm at to actually expand to skateboards. Because like shipping a skateboard deck, that cost is,
Oh yeah.
and
It's
I can't do it for free.
It's a long box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I can't just go like where you buy a skateboard from Zoomies or whatever. You go on the website, you spend $75 and you get free shipping.
Right.
Like I can't justify that. I won't make any money.
No, 100%.
So if I wanted to get them out there, that would be a good way.
Yeah.
But I'm just working for nothing.
I like that. Okay. Makes a lot of sense. If you had to, and this is kind of a weird one here, but if you had to pitch someone to try a Bloob deck, or even the wheels, being that they're the newest, what would be your pitch to them? What would be your sell?
So this is the part I'm not good at of entrepreneurship.
Let's narrow it down. If someone was on the fence about trying your Bloob wheels, and you know, I bring it up because there are people that'll look at 3D printed wheels and they'll kind of say, because I feel like 3D printed kind of has the notion that it's cheap.
Yeah, for sure.
So if someone were to say, after hearing this pod, and they say, "Oh, well, Bloob wheels are 3D printed, they must be cheap," like what would be your response to that?
If you try hard enough, you can break any wheel. Really, like you see some of the most expensive wheels breaking.
Oh, for sure.
It's one of those items where like it is tricky and it is hard to make it really strong. But to get somebody to try them, I don't know. I would probably suggest, like I would ask them, like, what's your favorite wheel right now?
Right.
And then I would try to show them a comparison, like,
Right.
and how that one would feel versus how mine would feel.
Okay.
And then like the colors and stuff like that. You try to be somewhat unique. I know it's hard to be unique in these like
With wheels. Yeah.
well, wheels and decks, everything's been done. So like it's almost impossible to be something new and fresh.
Right. Right.
But yeah, I always just ask them like for decks, like they're like, oh, I want to try one of your decks. I'm like, okay, well, what do you ride now? And if they say it, I'll say, oh, well, this mold's close.
Right.
So if you are gonna try, I would say try this. And then I'm not the type to like push it and be like, oh, because it's the best deck or whatever. Like I'm just gonna say like, I like them. I don't know. You can see, I share my stories of people using them and they like them. They come back multiple times sometimes. So
Right.
they sell. I mean, I don't know. I try to just be genuine, and I don't want to push it. myself personally. Like I just like to let people talk with their money, I guess.
I like it. All right. Where do you see Bloob in the next 5 years?
Hopefully still going the same way it is or bigger.
Definitely bigger.
Because I would love to keep doing this, like as my day job, and like because it's good. I don't have to commute to work anymore. Where I used to do construction.
Wow.
So this is a breath of fresh air.
Oh,
Not getting up at 5:30, going to work in the freezing cold in the winter, and then leaving when it's dark, coming home when it's dark. It's really depressing. So if I can keep doing this, I would be happy, even if it just never grows. If it just stays exactly where it is, I'd be happy.
I think it's gonna grow.
I think it will, to an extent. I'm not expecting anything drastic, but I would like to just stay relevant.
I like that.
I think that's all I need to be.
Absolutely.
I'm not looking to become the next Black River or anything.
It could happen.
It could, but I mean, that's a big feat.
Yeah.
And, I like to kind of live on the realistic side.
Okay. I like that. More grounded.
Yeah.
Perfect. Let's do this. So now I want to ask you a couple questions in regards to, so we talked about Bloob, talked about your skateboarding and your fingerboard credentials. I want to talk to you a little bit about Jamie as a fingerboarder. A couple questions. Okay. Do you have any current sponsors?
I do not, no.
No.
I did at one point. I rode for my buddy Joao, who owns Truck Loops.
Oh.
So I rode for his O-rings, his loops, about a year and a half ago.
Okay.
And that's when my brand started to it picked up a lot at that time. And I was like, I can't keep promoting you and doing everything I have to do for myself at the same time. So I left the team.
Yeah.
And we're still homies. Like I'm gonna go hang out with him today.
Oh, perfect.
And so from there, I've had an offer here or there, but like I don't want the responsibility, to be honest.
Okay.
Because like if I wasn't running a brand, I would for sure.
Yeah.
Just because then you have the social media time where you can share and promote and do that brand justice, but I can't do that and mine at the same time. Where my wife already wants to kill me with how much I'm on my phone. Yeah. So like I gotta pick and choose what I'm gonna do. Either grow my own brand or help grow somebody else's. So
yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah. Never thought about it like that. Any dream sponsors?
I'd only ever want one, and that would be Dynamic for sure.
Really?
Yeah. So I got everything else covered.
Dude, Scott B.
Just need these.
The homie Jamie
Dynamics.
The homie Jamie needs a sponsor. I like that.
That's all right. I don't mind paying for them. I just bought a set the other day.
So. It would be sick to see on the team though.
What?
Scott B. Sliding the DMs. All right, sounds good. Who are some of your biggest supporters?
Who have been my biggest supporters?
Just like in your life, like supporting Bloob, like your support system.
My wife, she's big. She lets me work as much as possible, which is hard with having a baby at home.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Because there's days where he is just miserable, and like then she becomes miserable because if you can't calm down a baby, you're gonna lose your mind. So there's days where it's hard, but she lets me work as much as I can. Other than that, I mean, obviously I got all my buddies online. Like I got Rock. Yeah. Rock, he's huge. He helped me grow.
We're seeing him today.
Yeah, I'm excited to meet him.
Yeah,
I've never met him. He's been on my team for a while, and I've never met him.
Yeah, we met at Rendezvous, and I don't know if you ever been to Rendezvous, but you do everything but fingerboarding there. Yeah. And we met for like 5 minutes, and I was just everywhere all at once, and then it's like, oh, he's gone.
That's me at every event I go to. I fingerboard for about 10 minutes. And
for
just
sure.
Sitting down the rest of the time.
Oh, yeah, for sure. That's what we had to. I was telling Jake, I'm here with Jake. So last night we filmed, and the day before we filmed. So I'm like, yeah, we got to film a lot because at the event we're probably not going to film too much.
No, you'll be talking to a lot of people who are probably excited to meet you.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be super sick.
As for supporters, though, like my team, they do a really good job, and like these shops, like Six Skates and Yuck and Slush Cult and Zegheads, they're all helping me out a lot too by continuing to carry my products. Like wholesale orders, I mean, yeah, I don't make as much, but there's a need for it, right? Because if somebody else, they're not going to come to me, spend $8 on shipping, and then go somewhere else, spend another $8 on shipping.
Yeah.
If they can get it all at one spot, I'd rather help them out. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Real quick, one thing I wanted to touch on earlier, and just when you mentioned the team, it sparked that question to come back. There's some brands that don't necessarily have teams. They kind of don't embrace the whole idea of a team. Clearly you do with having a team. Is it possible for a brand to really grow and be successful in 2024 without a team like without like a team kind of promoting them on social media?
I think it'd be hard.
Yeah.
Because even if your team has 100 followers each,
Yeah,
that's still another 100 people that's going to see your stuff per person.
that's true.
So it helps you grow initially for sure. And I think that's important. But after that, like after you kind of get your 15 minutes and you kind of actually have like a following, then I don't think it's as necessary. But I would never get rid of my team just because we're all such good homies and like
Right.
we actually have collective interests and stuff like that, right? And they want me to become something.
Right.
They want to be part of something big too,
Hell yeah.
whether it happens or not. But
Yeah.
yeah, they want to be along for the ride, and I'm appreciative of that.
Heck yeah.
That they actually care enough to.
Yeah, to
Yeah.
stick around and
Yeah.
watch you do your thing.
Because all my team's been pretty much there from the start. Like, no, it's been like 2 years of the same guys. No one's ever really left.
That's sick.
A couple people stepped down, but that was more out of,
Priorities.
real life responsibility where they can't have the time to do what they need to do for me. Because if I'm giving them free stuff, they understand that takes time out of my life. So I need some time. I need some time back from your
That
life.
definitely holds value. That makes sense. How do you keep as a fingerboarder, not so much as a brand, but how do you keep fingerboarding fresh and avoid burnout?
So for me, it's definitely the creating side. So I like to make a new product and then go use it, which that's why I'm like, oh, a new setup. I'm like, that's tight. I like this graphic I just made or whatever. And like these wheels, same sort of deal. It's all been like, just like once I get something new that I've made, I'm proud of it and I want to use it. And that gets me to want to have a sesh and want to actually keep going. And then like when the people see it and then I get DMs, like, cause I share my setups on my other account. So like fewer people will see the stuff that is unreleased. And then they're like, oh, when is that coming out? And like it builds that extra little hype and that gets me more hype to want to use it. So
I like that.
yeah, it's a collective sort of thing, but yeah, I like just to make new stuff and kind of challenge myself.
All right, sounds good. What are you listening to right now? Off topic for fingerboarding. If you had to put on a song to fingerboard to, what are we listening to? Who's that artist? What's that song?
The new Suicide Boys album. That's been one that I've been listening to. And then
Crispy.
some very bad rap music from
Really?
my high school days.
Okay.
So like Young Jeezy. I've been bumping a lot of Young
Ooh.
Jeezy.
Young Jeezy.
Stuff like that. Like old DJ Khaled like songs, like when he
like
had
that.
like Lil Wayne at the time,
Yep,
like
yep,
all
yep.
these like older stuff.
Wayne's
Because that just brings me back to when I was in like originally
Yeah.
having fun fingerboarding and skateboarding.
I like that.
But yeah, newer stuff, I don't know, not very much. I listen to a lot of podcasts too.
Okay. There you go. What is your go-to flat ground trick in a game of skate?
I don't play enough games of skate, but if
We got to get a game in today.
the usual switch heel, nollie heel, probably.
Okay,
Just
we
'cause
don't. We don't got to get a game
It's
in.
just
Never
a
mind.
cheap letter for some people.
Okay.
But then there's people like if I were to go play Joao later,
Yeah.
he can do them
Yeah.
every try.
Every try.
He would just destroy me in a game of skate.
Okay.
He's so consistent and like that. I'm not.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
We've reached the point of the interview where I want to turn very quickly to the internet.
Okay.
They have a couple questions for you, and this is the way we're going to do it.
All right.
So I'm going to read a couple off to you, okay? And we're looking for pretty tight answers here.
Okay.
All right? We're going to read a couple off, and then after that, we're going to do some no nuance stuff to end the pod. Are you ready for the first question from the internet?
Sure.
Are you ever going to make Bloob split plies?
I did a long time ago.
Oh.
Actually, I do make them if you ask for one. I do one where I like my text, a logo of mine is in the bottom ply. But yeah, if you ask me for one, sure.
I like that. This one says, how did you come up with the idea for resin wheels? I think that's been a thing, resin.
Yeah,
There's
you
a couple
can
brands.
pour resin wheels
Yeah.
if you have a mold. It's just like doing urethane wheels, but I just do it because the printer can make them perfect every time. There's no air bubbles.
Right.
It's just a clean wheel when it's
Super
done.
cool. I
So
love it. Who's your favorite Power Ranger?
the red one.
Red one, Jason. Hell yeah.
Cliche answer.
Oh,
but
dude.
yeah.
No, I'm more of a Billy guy.
Oh, yeah?
Blue. Yeah, for
Okay.
sure. What's your favorite cheese?
I like marble cheddar
Marble cheddar.
or a good old cheddar.
I like that.
I don't like soft cheese. It kind of
Perfect.
grosses me out.
I like that. Someone says, why are you so handsome?
Ask my daddy. I don't know.
Yeah. They know how to make them. They know how to make them in Canada. All right. Perfect. Let's see. Someone says, I just want to express my love and gratitude for Jamie.
Well, thank you.
I like that.
kind.
Wow.
Was that my wife?
I know, right? Actually, I'm not sure. I don't think your wife has a fingerboard account, so probably not.
No, I don't think so either.
All right. And then last question from the internet. How big is that wood for real, for real? We'll save that for another pod. All right. We'll save that for another pod. All right.
Make me blush.
I know. That's what I was about to say. You have to switch channels here. All right. This is what we're going to do for no nuance, okay? I'm going to give you 2 words. You just pick which one ever comes to mind the fastest. No nuance, so no giving an explanation, nothing like that.
All right.
You do not get a pass.
Oh, I don't.
No.
Okay.
I gave shop owners a pass because I get it. You know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah,
get
they got to be
like,
loyal to a bunch of brands.
Yeah, they got to be, politics wise.
Yeah.
But no pass for Mr. Jamie.
All right.
Are you ready for this?
Yeah. Sure.
Skateboarding, fingerboarding,
Now fingerboarding.
burritos or tacos,
Tacos.
Apple, Samsung,
Apple.
Tim Hortons, Starbucks.
Tim Hortons. At coffee. Starbucks.
Okay. Canada, America.
Canada.
Canada, baby. Yeah, there you go. Canada, Dollar Tree or Dollarama?
Dollarama.
I like that.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. No offense taken. Drake or Kendrick?
Sorry to my Toronto homies, but Kendrick.
Damn, that's the second person I've asked in Canada that, and
I don't know. Drake's not a rapper, man. He never used to be. He was the R&B guy.
so you don't ever see Drake driving around like in the 6?
I'm not from here.
That's true.
I'm not here enough, so
That's true. That would be sick though to see him
it
driving.
would be
around.
cool. I've seen videos of the entourage.
I like that. All right, last couple here. Front side flip or back side flip?
Front side flip.
Black River or Dynamic?
Dynamic.
I like that. Scott B, slide in the DMs.
Yeah.
Slide in the DMs. All right. So last one. You ready for this? I think you know what's coming.
I don't.
If you listen to a couple pods, you got to know what's coming.
Well, now I forget. I'm on the spot.
You're on the spot. You ready for this?
Sure.
Fuck, marry, kill.
Oh, no.
Yeah. 3 names. Ready for this? Got to think long and hard. Pause.
Okay.
Ready for this? Fuck, marry, kill. Mike Schneider, Vito from Six Skate, or Slush God.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I'd marry Vito for
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
He's got the most level-headed, I think.
Oh yeah.
He's got his shit together. I mean, Clayton does too, but
Yeah.
I'd have to F-U-C-K Clayton.
Okay. Whoa. Wait a minute.
He's a soft boy.
Are you gonna? Yeah.
He looks
I was
like he'd
gonna-
be more comfortable than Mike. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Yeah. Shout out Clay. Clay is he's pretty curvy.
And then Mike. Sorry, bud.
Oh, dude. I got to be honest. I don't think anyone's ever fucked Mike or married him.
Well,
Maybe not in real life.
No, not
Obviously, in real life, Mike is the goat.
Yeah, of course.
But no, he's been killed so many times on this podcast. Shout out Mike.
Okay, I don't feel as bad now that other people have done.
Oh no, people have killed him left and right.
Yeah.
Mike, if you're watching this, I love you.
Yeah, we still love you and everything you've done for this wonderful community.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Love it. On that note, Jamie, my friend, you've reached the end of your Bigspin podcast.
Woo!
I appreciate you doing this, and I'm so stoked to be here.
No, thanks for having me. This
Yeah.
is wild. I never would have thought this would have happened. So.
Dude, this is super sick. Well, that's it. Bigspin podcast. Jamie from Bloob. Thanks so much. Like, comment, subscribe. Where can they find you online?
At Bloob_FB on Instagram.
There you have it. Thanks so much.